All right, we had a bit of a rain delay. That was kind of amazing, actually. So, get everything supported here. We got the jack under. What I'm starting with first is the drive shaft. That has 15 mil bolts in it. I've got the ABS sensors pulled out of here. I'm going to pull these calipers, and I'm just going to, since this line's here, I'm just going to try to hang them up into here so they're not hanging. The next big thing that I'm going to have to worry about is going to be my e-brake cables. So I have to figure out what the best way is to get those removed, whether I'm going to pull this spring forward and then get this pulled back, because they have like a locking latch in them, and I don't want to damage any of that stuff. So once they're off, then we'll go to our shocks. I think they're 21s. These are 21s. We have 15s here on the sway bar, so I'll just undo that, and then I'll pull this up around back. Same with the track arm. Since it's new, we're just going to undo it on that side, and then I'll lift that up and kind of tie it up. And you know, we should pretty much have it out of the way, but you always want to use caution with the springs. You want to make sure that you take all the tension off. That's why we're doing our brakes, our shocks, our lines, and then we're going to let this down after we get the track bar undone too. Then get our springs out. Then we can support the rear with the jack, and we can undo our upper and lower arms at the rear side. And this whole unit will slide back. We're going to set it next to that one. I mean, just looking across here, you can kind of see that far arm. The arm is straight, but it looks like the rear is up and down. They do fit pretty tight here, but if you look across, like, let's just try to make a dirt line, you know, that's kind of pretty much straight across with our bolt. And you can see that we have spacing correct on both sides. That one we don't. I actually had to force that one in, which is in turn, I believe, is why that tube is actually bent up. It is such a minute amount that it's very hard to see with the naked eye, which I'm really hoping once this is out and we have it sitting next to that one, we'll be able to see it. So, well, we got some springs on the ground, and I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but I'm gonna try to set this up where I can see it. Like, I can see across with my eyes, and right over there I can see that that is turned that way just a little bit. Now that everything is out of the way, let's take a look from the other side. I don't know. Man, it's so hard to tell. See, there is just a little, I can see there's a gap on that side, a gap on that side, and then like I said, you know I really had to fight this bolt in here on the top. So basically right now everything's loose. I just got to get the bolts out of the control arms, and then we're going to slide this rear differential out from under here. All right, well, there it is. You can really see the bend in it here now. Hopefully the video is picking that up. And then I got the other one. Well, I've got both covers pulled off. We just did some double checking. Looked inside. I mean, that's 32,000 mile differential. This one's got 160 on. They both look really good inside. You can see we got 355 right on the gear. I did want to stay with that. I could have switched it over to 392, but with this, it will still tow good with the 355s. 392s would have been a little bit better for towing, but I do want to try to retain a little bit of gas mileage. But we'll wait and see. So we've got our axles pulled. I'm actually taking this entire backing plate off. And the plan is I'm just going to swap it with that. I mean, that axles are cleaner, the brakes are cleaner, and just get everything swapped over into here. Once I get the axles and the backing plates, I'm going to double check everything on this differential. I thought that one was a posi, But with that bend, it must just be binding it just enough to the point where it makes it feel that way. So, man, what a lot of work just to, you know what I mean, to get this working. I could have thrown this in, put new brake pads on, and straightened out these rear backing plates, but we've got everything gorgeous on that one. So we're just going to pull everything right off of there, swap it into this. But we have the rear is prepped. We got everything cleaned up. I had to pop the clips, the OEM clips that hold this thing together. I just popped them off so that we could get the rotors off of the end of this. Our e-brake shoes really look good. I'll probably clean out the inside of these here because they got some rust. No one really ever uses the e-brake on an automatic. I mean, it just doesn't happen. They usually always end up looking like these on this ramp with the pads. They just unbond from the shoe and then they just fall off. It's just pretty much normal for what you see. So, wow. I'm curious to see how tight it is going to be to get that axle out. I'll probably have to hit that sucker with a hammer. This one will probably pop right out. Man. All right, well, that's where I'm at. I'm going to get the pinion bolt out. I figured I'll show this here quick. This is what we got. Pinion shaft, pinion bolt, 8 mil. There's C-clips on both axles. They go over those little ends there. The other one had a slot so it would pop off. I wonder if that's something different on this one. Okay. Just going to make sure it's on. Give it a tap. Bring it down just a little bit more. All right, there we go. All right, so I'll hold this and then we'll slide this out. Push up on this pin. Oh, the other one came right out. Could be bound because of being bent. Not quite sure. Nothing better than a 1/2 inch extension for a punch. Man, that's tight. Now, damn. Definitely snug. Like I said, it should have just popped right out. Now when you move this, you want to be careful because this will make these spider gears walk out. All right, now, if we look in here, you can see where our horseshoe clip is. All right, there we go. See it right there. Up. That's where our problem is. Oh man. So close. All right, so basically got everything stripped off of here now. You can really see how it tweaks forward on that side, and this side here is nice and straight. Let's get it good. It's kind of amazing that that housing bent. Nothing else was damaged for the most part. I mean, you know, it did have some damage in the back corner of the bed, but we have everything ready to go. I did notice we did have one difference here. So we have an open diff and we had a posi unit. So I believe right now at this point, we're just going to swap the posi unit in, even though this would just be fine. It's here, I have it, so I might as well take care of it. That is going to go right into the scrap, but like as you can see, we have every single piece separated. We pulled the pinion, I even pulled the races, just everything so that I had it. Here's the end pieces. The caps are probably rear specific, but I just threw them in there just in case. So basically, with that being said, now comes the fun part of pulling this out. I do have the tool to pull the end pieces right there by that other axle. And like I said, I did get everything else out of the way. I got to put these old axles out of here yet. And then scrap pile with the old diff. Maybe I'll take a picture of the label. That way at least I have it. And then we'll work on getting this one set up so that we can get it reinstalled into the truck. All right. We went through a lot. I just didn't feel confident because this was the first time I was doing this. But everything went really well. What I did was I swapped the ring gear to match that pinion in there and just reinstalled the clutches and everything exactly the same, adjusted everything, and it's now assembled. I did dump fluid in it, so I'm giving this some time before I snug down our lid, and we will be ready to install our new rear. I'm still working on cleaning this mess up. We have our good, completed, redone rear differential getting ready to be reinstalled into the truck. This right here is something major. All right, well, if you remember, we did have the ram sitting here. I'm gonna grab something here to lean on. So, other than having to fix up this bedside yet, we now have a rear wheel that is running pretty freaking true. So we're good to go. I mean, this is bubbled out here a little bit, so it's throwing it off. I'm still trying to, I might be getting a whole bed that will be in color, and I can just slap it on. I can order a bedside for this one and then just repair this bed later down the road. And then I'll have a second bed for something else. I do plan to swap this bumper out. I do want dual exhaust on this thing, but everything is down in. I did take it for a quick ride. Seems to be working pretty good. Now, I did find some issues, okay? We topped everything off. Now, this is a 2011 housing. The housing is exactly the same, all right? The thing that I ran into was the location of our ABS sensors right here. Now, the other ones, I'm gonna flip you over. This is, I believe you can see where my finger is. See how it's like cut in toward the thing, right? So this plate is actually reversed on the newer style rear. Okay, so once I had this thing together, half of my ABS hole was blocked, but I do have to say I did buy something to use for porting. I was going to try to port some cylinder heads or some intakes or something, so I bought some bits, all I can say is they made quick work of this axle tube flange at the end. I kind of just routed out just enough to be able to get the ABS sensors in on both sides, and it seemed to work out pretty good. I did have a little bit, it was wanting to jump around on me, so I had to clean that side up a little bit. That was the first one I tried, but this one here worked out really well. So everything is reinstalled, and this truck is ready to see some road time very, very soon.